Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, August 30th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are somebody that uses charts as a trader, or who knows, maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts, how they can be used to make good decisions as a trader, then this will be a video for you. And then real quick before I get started, I just want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live class that I'm offering next week. So just keep in the back of your mind that as I go through the video, if you like what you're seeing, you want to learn more about it, then I am offering this class. If you want to get signed up on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. Or if you're watching at claytrader.com, then on the webpage there's an area that you can click on to get signed up. So like I said, just keep that in the back of your mind. And if you like what you're hearing, then I just want you to get, and personally invite you to get signed up for the class. First one here, ticker symbol SPRT. Absolutely monster move. Been doing this one all week. So for those of you that have watched these past videos, especially earlier on that got in, a big congratulations to you because the monster move just continued, although there is now this situation and the question of, is the party finally over? And in my mind, the level that everybody is going to be watching, rightfully so, it's a very logical area to watch, is going to be this gap close location down there around the $20 mark. Now, I'm not saying the price is headed down to 20, but that's going to be an area where from a technical point of view, it's very significant because that does represent the gap close area. And the other reason why it's significant is, and I'm not saying this will occur, but if the price came down to 20 and then just kept on going, what would that be doing to the price? At that point, that would quite literally be putting the price right back inside of this big old range that it had just been, a part of. Or said another way, that would imply that the price absolutely exploded upwards to then go right back to where it was. Not exactly a sign of genuine true strength. Again, not saying that's what's going to happen, but just trying to explain why that $20 mark is a very, very important, a very, very revealing level moving forward in terms of whether or not this is just a pullback before a recovery, or if this is maybe the start of something much worse to the downside. If there is any sort of attempted bounces back in the upwards direction, let's try that again, grab another, and there we go. Key area of resistance going to be right there at the $45 mark. So 45, like I said, initial area of resistance if there is any sort of attempted turnaround. But in my opinion, at least right now, all eyes are on $20. $20 is a very, very important, that very revealing level. So we'll see if it comes into play, but who knows? Maybe the price doesn't even go back down there. But as of right now, especially with the amount of momentum that's showing up, I don't think anybody would be shocked to see $20 come about. But now, like I said, the $1 million question next week is, can $20 hold? We'll see what happens. Next one here, ticker symbol AMC, and not a whole lot to report, but given it is such a popular stock, I want to just keep everybody updated here as we head into the weekend. So overall, from the big picture pattern, nothing at all has changed. The bears didn't make any significant pushes. Significant push being defined as pushing down below 38. But the bulls also didn't do anything impressive. Impressive, quote unquote, being defined as getting back up above that resistance trend line right there. So overall, it was just a neutral day. Wasn't bad, wasn't good. Just basically a little consolidation area that's formed here. But what I am curious about and what I want to get mapped out is that in the very near term, there does very seemingly be a new level of support right there at that level of the $39.50 mark. So I'm just going to throw that out there and make that green to represent bullishness. But by no means is this like a must-hold level, so I want to be very clear. If the price drops below $39.50, that doesn't mean that the entire chart's ruined. That's more of a curiosity thing in my, for me in terms of, well, let's see if the price can continue to hold above that level. And if it does, that's just going to give, that much more evidence that there is strength out there and that a break of that trend line there could very well be right around the corner. So keep an eye on $39.50. But again, really to reiterate, if the price falls below there, that doesn't mean that the chart's now epically destroyed. Not saying that at all. But overall, like I said, not a whole lot else to report other than the fact of, I got a new little support level there. But from the overarching standpoint, like I said, the bulls didn't have a great day. The bears didn't have a great day. So it was overall pretty neutral. Next one here, ticker symbol BBIG. Overall, very, very impressive chart. Fantastic volume today. Price reacted very nicely with it. But then the nice part here is that the price has pulled back. So as far as, being worried, I don't know, am I chasing the price? Am I suffering from, FOMO, fear of missing out? Both of those you can, confidently say, no, you're not, because the price has pulled back. Now, anybody that was buying up there, they suffered from FOMO and they're probably not going to have a very good weekend. But assuming you're still just watching this and not in it, then you got the pullback here. So now it's just a question of, okay, do you still believe in the upwards momentum? Because no doubt about it, a lot of upwards momentum has shown up. If you still believe that there's good, solid upward momentum here, then this is completely a buying opportunity. You have a pullback right here. So from the risk standpoint, a whole lot less than if, potentially buying up there. Now, just because it's pulled back, let me be very clear, that doesn't mean that it's guaranteed to work out. No such thing as a guarantee. But from a planning perspective, from a logistics standpoint, in terms of, I don't know, is this a good decision? Am I making a rational decision? Yeah, absolutely. So again, just because it's rational doesn't mean it's guaranteed to work out. But remember, our job as traders is to not gamble, right? And gambling is just making random decisions. It's just throwing darts. But to know that this is pulled back is by no means some sort of random decision, especially when you look at that area of support right there at $4.75, where the price has bounced off it a couple of times right there. So we'll see if that can still be honored as an area of support. And then in terms of breakout areas, key battleground to watch very closely, going to be all about $5.75 key resistance for 75. Okay, that's what I thought. So about $1 range right in here. But, worst case, maybe, and not worst case, but let's just say the price just stays in between here. Well, at that point, the longer the price stays in between there, then the more and more evidence we would have of what would be known as a bull flag pattern. So overall, we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, 475, key level of support, 575, key level of resistance. Next one here, ticker symbol NURO. And really, there's only one reason why, I guess that's not true. Not only one reason, but the main reason I'm doing this one is because this one has a track record of being able to move and move very, very big. For those of you that remember, this thing went from sub $4 to up there over 36. Am I saying that that's going to happen again? Of course not. As I was just saying, no guarantees. But the point here is, does this one have the potential? Has this one shown before? Does it have a track record of being able to move and move very quickly? Yeah, it absolutely does, and you can see that right there. So while that doesn't mean that it's going to happen again, at least you know that this thing has the capability to get moving and get moving very, very quickly. So it's worth at least keeping an eye on. And as I just talked about with BBIG, the nice thing here is that the price has pulled back. So by no means would you be chasing the price or suffering from FOMO. Again, yeah, those people definitely suffered from FOMO, and they're not going to have a good weekend. But with the pullback here, it does present a couple of nice little potential opportunities to keep an eye on from the pullback perspective. First key level of support right there at $14.30. And then from a breakout standpoint, key level to watch going to be more so right up there around that $19 level. And if the price can recover back up to 19 and get the break of it, while that doesn't guarantee anything, it does make it more than valid to think that, okay, not only is this momentum still strong, but it's strong enough to, not only push the price back upwards, but now also get the break up through there. So overall, though, if you are somebody that likes to see strong movements, but then see some pullbacks before you think about putting together a trade plan on it, here you have one right here. And like I said, kind of the cherry on top is this one has a big old track record of moving big. So we'll see if anything like that can happen next week. Next one here, ticker symbol PLTR, and a very, very impressive day today. So looking at today, just isolated, very solid day. So I don't want to come across like today wasn't good or anything like that. But what I'm very curious about moving forward into next week is this area right here. That trend line right there, which has all of a sudden become a very, very, impressive kind of data point as far as the chart is concerned. Check that out. By using these points right here, did a fantastic job of forecasting right where the price would struggle today. And that area is right up there, give or take around $26, and we'll call it 25 cents. So in my mind, 26.25 is by far that key level of resistance next week, where if there is going to be any sort of bigger continuation and bigger momentum, then 26.25-ish is going to be that level that needs to be broken, because that is, like I said, after today's price movement, has been confirmed as a pretty important level. So keep an eye on that. But there's going to be a lot of people watching that trend line, and I make that comment because when a lot of people are watching the same areas and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want. It can definitely produce some very dynamic movements. And, that level up there around 26.25 seems to be that level. I am going to zoom back in here now that you can see where that red line comes from. But if there are any sort of pullbacks, key level of support is going to be that former breakout point right there at $25.30. So not saying it'll come back down there. But again, if you are somebody that enjoys playing pullbacks more so, then, that's a very interesting level to keep an eye on. But overall, very, very nice way to close out the week here for PLTR. Next one here, ticker symbol CEMI, and we have a reoccurring theme here, but once again, nice amount of volume, good sign of upwards momentum, but then the price did ultimately get the pullback from all the way down there. So, you got to think about it. Some poor souls were buying up there. Yeah, not so good. But like I said, from watching from the sidelines, got the pullback here. And if you're someone that's saying, I think this is still just a healthy pullback, then you definitely have a better risk versus reward. Main level of support that really stands out to me is going to be that $2.80 mark. So if this thing wants to pull back a bit more, maybe that's being too greedy to say, no, I'd like to see the price pull back to that area. I 100% would respect your decision to say, no, Clay, what are you talking about? It's already pulled back enough. I like it up here. Hey, I don't, that makes sense to me. I can understand why you would say that. But like I said, to me, that would be that official gap close location. Not that it's going to bounce from that area, because again, no such thing as a guarantee, but as a, as a valid, as a rational thought process to have, yeah, 280 makes a whole lot of sense to me. But again, I also do respect and can see if you're saying, Clay, what are you talking about? It's already pulled back enough. It's already starting to consolidate out. So I'd like to just hop in right around there. Like I said, I can see that side of things too. As far as areas of resistance, if there is going to be any sort of return back upwards, first key level of resistance is going to be right there at $3.15. And then the next key level after that would just be where the party stopped eventually this morning, and that was up around 335. So keep an eye on those couple of areas. But overall, nice sign of strength. Got the pullback. Not just a question of, is this pullback going to recover? If it does, then you could be looking at some very nice risk versus reward scenarios. Next one here, down in the world of penny stocks, ticker symbol RGBP. Been doing this one quite a bit. Taking a couple of days off from it, and I probably shouldn't have, but I mean, really, there's not a whole lot to say, because quite literally over the past couple of weeks, all you can really say is the same thing over and over again, which is a good problem to have. Higher highs, and I'm doing this very crudely, higher lows and higher highs. So in other words, this thing is the epitome of an uptrend right now. And just not a whole lot can be said other than, hey, just watch the lows. And as long as those lows keep on getting higher and higher, then everything else, as you've seen, takes care of itself. So on that note, that's really, in my opinion, where that level right there at 0.63 comes into play. I mean, as long as the price stays above that level. So, and I'm not saying this will occur, but for example, like let's say the price actually does come down there and is sitting right at that level. From the big picture, so emphasis on big picture point of view, what would you still have? You'd still have lows there, and 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 lows there. And you get the idea. And if you envision each of those as stair steps, those stair steps would still very, very be clearly in the upwards direction. And that's what matters most. So at the end of the day, when things get, into this much of an uptrend, resistance levels really just don't matter anymore. And they don't matter because as long as the price keeps on doing what it's been doing in terms of building higher bases, then eventually the chart runs out of room, and literally the price has to find new room by going higher, aka breaking those levels of resistance. So at this point, in my opinion, resistances no longer matter. Just focus on those lows, and as long as those lows keep getting higher and higher, then everything else will take care of itself. Next one here, ticker symbol LCLP. Did this analysis in the previous top 10 video and got the technical breakout here. So now it's just a question of, does this breakout want to continue? So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that line as it served its purpose for now. And also get this updated right here at the 5-cent mark. Again, talked about that as an area of resistance, but you can see late day got the breakout of that, just yesterday on Thursday. And then you can see got the big continuation here. Although the price is now pulling back. So we have that scenario that we've talked about before. Clay, is this a good or bad looking chart? Well, I don't know. What was your perspective? If you're a day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes, well, then from that angle, from that perspective, the chart looks terrible. But if you care about the grand scheme of things, then everything is perfectly fine because the price still has an opportunity to build that higher base. And that's where the update comes into play when resistances are broken. You want to see them, act as support. And like I already mentioned in the previous one, even if the price were to come down there, and as long as it stays above that area, what would that still be giving you from the big picture point of view? You'd still have another set of lows there. You'd have lows there. You'd have a low there. You'd have lows down there. And you can still see that the stair steps would be very clearly in the upwards direction. And that implies that the price drops all the way down to 5 cents. And I'm not even saying that will happen, but if it does, that just really kind of shows how strong the chart's been, because it could drop all the way back down to 5 and yet still be plenty in a bullish uptrend. And then as far as areas of resistance are concerned now moving forward, right up there at 0.072 is going to be that newest area of resistance, so keep a close eye on that. But overall, very, very impressive way to end the week and build an overall, past couple of days. Next one here, ticker symbol ATER. Very, very impressive way to close out the week. And the interesting thing is, started off doing nothing. I mean, you look at that volume down there, Friday morning, nothing, and then the volume came in, and the price reacted very nicely with it. So have ourselves a nice technical pattern here. So pattern being, and I'm just kind of drawing this, crudely, but just to get the idea across. But overall, got our, and let me actually change that to green to represent more of the bullish attribute of the pattern, and then change this to so we can have all the same color. But there is a pull portion. There we have the resistance. There we have the support, and then for you golfers out there, put the golf ball down there, and this is what would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So look, ATER going into Monday has a very nice bull pennant pattern, and the big question mark is, hey, is this nice move, which now has gotten some consolidation, right? It went sideways, got consolidation, but is the price going to get the breakout? And not guaranteed to happen, but you're not at all randomly throwing a dart to say, I think this thing could see some highs next week. I think this thing could get up above $7. Why? And what would make you think that? Well, the thing's got a nice bullish pattern. If it can break out through there, that could build enough momentum to get it going. Again, is it guaranteed to happen? Of course not. Is that some sort of random thought to have? Absolutely not, because you do have a nice bullish pattern. It's just a question of, can the price actually get the technical breakout and then build that much momentum from it? But overall, definitely a nice pattern, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out on Monday. Next one here, ticker symbol MRIN, and a very, very popular one, blast from the past, and what was it? I think NURO. Same exact premise as NURO. The history is here. There is a track record of this thing making absolutely crazy moves. I mean, check this out. From, let's just call it $250 all the way up to $25. Once more, am I saying that that's what's going to happen next week? I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to build context that the reason why this one is on the list is because it has the potential and it's moved very big in the past. So even if it moves, a quarter of that, maybe you get lucky and it's half of that move. That would still be a crazy big move. So like I said, it's worth at least keep an eye on and seeing if this pattern that was formed today ultimately does turn into anything worthwhile. So as far as the pattern is concerned, the main area of support of it, in my mind, sits right down there around 650. And then the resistance part of the pattern sitting right here around that trend line right there. So to kind of tie it a little bit more together visually. So there is the pull portion of the pattern. Again, there is the level of support. There is the level of resistance. And you could call that a bull flag. You could call it a bull pennant. Again, we'll put the golf ball down there. But the point here being is not the name of the pattern. The point here being is that there was a big surge in price supported by big volume. And now it's pulled back a little bit. So if it needs to consolidate, nothing wrong there. But again, is this guaranteed to lead to anything? No, maybe this was just a one-day wonder. Maybe next week it drifts back into oblivion. But at least it showed strength. At least it's going through healthy consolidation. So it makes it valid. It makes it rational to think that, maybe this is just a little consolidation before a big move back upwards. So we'll see what happens with it. But given the track record of MRIN in the past, and now the nice surge in volume today, the nice consolidation pattern, let's see what happens Monday and Tuesday of next week. So that wraps up the top 10 here. And again, I do want to personally invite you to get signed up for the class that I'm offering next week. Totally free. It is live. And, if you want to learn more about charts, why they work, how they should be used, how they should not be used, then I'm going to, talk all about that, and why they're just a great tool to help build consistency. So the class will be on Thursday, September 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's always the important part. So definitely get signed up for it, and I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, very quickly, if you enjoy this format and if you would like for me to continue to make these types of videos, then please let me know that it's worth the time and effort, and you can do that very easily. Hit the like button, leave a basic comment, even if it's just the number one. A smiley face. But those two things communicate to me that it is worth my time and is worth my effort to put these together. As long as I know people are enjoying them, as long as I know that they're helpful, then I have no problem doing them. But just from a good old-fashioned time management perspective, I want to make sure that I'm being smart with my time and that I'm not wasting it. So if you enjoy these videos, want me to keep making them, hit the like button and then leave a basic comment down below. And again, like I said, if you want to learn more about charts and how they're a tool and how you can use them to build consistency, then definitely get signed up for the class. But hopefully everybody had a great week. Hopefully you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you back on Monday.